Hey, you guys want to see something weird? After I released my video about Lies of P's Overture DLC, one of my viewers emailed me with a question I didn't cover in the video and pointed out a weird detail in the final level of the DLC. Huge spoilers for Overture, by the way. You have 5 seconds to turn the video off if you haven't played it yet. Okay, so in the room with the second display that Arlecchino leaves behind for Leia, the one where he's tied Romeo's arms to some sort of fabric and has them descending from an upside-down statue of Valentinus, there are 6 portraits of children lining the wall behind the display. Each of them are wearing the Rosa State School uniform, so we can assume there's 6 of the students there, and Arlecchino has defaced them so that it looks like they're crying blood. So far, so normal for a serial killer. Here's the weird thing, though. While 5 of the 6 portraits have been defaced, one of them, the one on the far left, has been left untouched. Weird, right? Okay, now, a little later in the level, you can find the same portraits hanging from a wall. These ones haven't been defaced, although they have gotten some incidental blood splatter from the Rosa State incident on them. What's weird, though, is you can find 5 of the 6 paintings hanging on that wall, and the one that's missing is the same one that Arlecchino didn't deface downstairs. So the question posed to me by this viewer was, do I have any idea who these kids are, and why Arlecchino and or the level designers seem to have singled one of the 6 kids out specifically? Now, if you look under the spot where the portrait would obviously be, there is a portrait laying face down on the ground. At this point, I was pretty sure that the portrait lying there had to be the portrait of the missing kid, and I had a theory that I thought would explain the discrepancy. What if the textures on the portraits somehow got switched, so the 6th kid's crying portrait accidentally got placed face down on the floor there, and his normal portrait got put on the defaced wall? That would make some sense, and while it would be a coincidence, if we could see that portrait lying on the ground and it was a crying version of the boy, then I would be comfortable calling the mystery solved. So, I modded my game, specifically using a mod called UE Tools Developer Console Free Camera Debugging, which I'll link in the description, to position the camera between the floor and the portrait to get a better look at it. So much for that. It is, in fact, the missing portrait of the 6th kid, but it's not the defaced version. This doesn't completely rule out my theory that the wrong portrait got placed on the wall of the crying children, mind you. It's still possible that the textures weren't flipped, they just placed this wrong painting in one place and no one caught it. If I had to put money on an explanation for this whole thing, that would still be it. But it is admittedly weird, right? That this one portrait is singled out not once but twice in the level. Lies of P does use what I'm fairly sure are just stock or generic assets and things like portraits in many places. I don't think every painting on every wall in the game has some hidden meaning, but if you do examine the paintings, posters, and other stock assets, most of them do seem to have at least had thought put into them to make sure they fit with the canon of the world. For example, in another room of the Rosa State, there's this photo of a bunch of children standing at the Rosa State front door. It's very hard to get a clear look at this photo through normal gameplay, but if you get a better look at it through a free camera mod like I did, it becomes clear that behind the crowd of children, you can see Valentinus, his wife Isabel, Sophia, Carlo, and Romeo, all of whom canonically would have been there. Leah is absent from the photograph because by the time Carlo and Romeo would have been attending the school, Leah would already have left her family. And usually, when portraits are displayed this prominently, they have some sort of lore for being there. For example, later in the same level, in Valentinus' bedroom and study, we have a portrait of his family and a photograph of him and his wife prominently displayed. Later, in the library section of the level, there's another set of 6 portraits, this time of adults, representing the patrons of the school. Once again, we know canonically that Lady Antonia was one of these patrons, and sure enough, she is represented by one of the portraits, and there's even an interact prompt which points her out to you here. It is also a weird coincidence that there are both 6 portraits of the patrons and 6 portraits of the crying children. There's no other connection I can draw there, but it is odd. They're not perfectly consistent with this, of course, nor should they be. For example, in the room where you find Sophia after defeating Laxasha in the main game, you can find a map referencing New England, a place that would not exist in Lies of P's world. You're very unlikely to be able to get a good look at that piece of paper without the use of a free camera mod though, so it's perfectly fine. Like the Heineken label in Dark Souls 2, I think it's funny that you can find a reference to New England in Lies of P, and I don't think it makes the game worse in any way, because you're so unlikely to notice it. There are simply better places to spend your development resources than making completely custom textures for every piece of paper in your game. But the things that you are likely to notice in the game, things that you can get a good look at, are usually consistent with the game's world and seem to have intention and thought put into them, which makes this discrepancy with the Crying Children stand out. I don't think there's some huge undiscovered Easter egg or massive lore smoking gun here with these Crying Children, to be clear. If I had to guess, I'd either say the wrong portrait got placed on the wall in development, or this is some sort of in-joke between developers that we'll never be privy to, but it is all weird. Weird enough that it is plausible that there is something else going on here, some intention that no one has picked up yet. So, I want to now pose the same question to my audience that my viewer posed to me. Do you know who this kid is? Do you know what's up with this and why he's been singled out? Is there a lore reason for why Arlecchino wouldn't deface this one portrait? If you have an idea, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. That's all I've got for you for today, everyone. Short one, I know. You know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. Hype now, I guess. I'm not sure if that actually does anything. Special thank you to my YouTube channel members and supporters over on Patreon. If you'd like to get your name read out in the credits or get exclusive videos, head over to patreon.com/Zuldim or click join below the video. Chaotic, Pizza Requiem, Dusan Kovacevic, Rules in Place, Raxarox, Unhealthy Caillou, Sir Darkon, Aurelia 14, Alan Fortes, Sam P. from New Zealand, Schmandolf the Schmay, Kirsten, Captain Swing, Der Freischütz, Devale, Mouse V, Lieria, Theo D, Noah Phoenix, The Smallest Church in Wienerville, Gassan Abanura, Patrizia Frabetti, Sninkelberg, Ziggy the 31st, Frondi, Yo-Yo Jojo Mojo, Tsai Voafehi, Dan Luther, Jose Armalas, William, Cabbage, Rekka, Alex Smith, Pete Lee, Shiny Emptyhead, That's All, Bell Mage, and Malachi Murphy. Until next time, everyone, take care.